Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Tuesday, July the 20th. Game 6 of the NBA Finals is coming up on Tuesday. The Bucks are headed back home with a chance to potentially pull things out here, win that championship. Giannis potentially going to get his first championship. Same with Middleton, same with Drew Holiday. Should be an interesting game. The only thing that sucks is that obviously, if Milwaukee does win today, that'll be the end of the NBA season. Obviously, won't have any more NBA to play or NBA content to post, but I really enjoyed this NBA season. I'm kind of wanting the Suns to win tonight or on Tuesday just so that, we can get another slate, another game. Would be fun, but yeah, Game 6, man, should be loud, should be a ton of fun. Game 5 was awesome. It was down to the wire, last minute. That's what we love to see. We want to see these down to the wire games. No blowouts, none of that bull crap. We want to see some 2-point, 3-point games. These close ones. So hopefully we get another one tonight. We'll see. But as always, guys, we're gonna talk through this showdown slate like we've been doing. Just break down the entire player pool. Really, anyone I expect to see minutes, we'll kind of touch on, break them down, and then we'll talk about Draftkings mainly. If there's anything I see on Yahoo, we'll hit on that as well. But it's kind of the same thing when it comes to these showdown slates. The pricing's pretty similar. I know the roster constructions on Yahoo is a little bit different, but we'll mainly touch on DK, and then also do want to give a shout out to PricePicks. For those of you that maybe are new here, we are partnered with PricePicks. Been playing on PricePicks for about a month or two now, and I've been having a lot of success. I know a lot of you guys have signed up for PricePicks and have been able to have success as well. PricePicks is a little bit of a new way to play DFS. You're not necessarily building a lineup or playing against other players. You're pretty much going to play against the house. You're taking the over or the under on their projection for every player. So they have every player listed. They expect to see minutes. I think maybe Torrey Craig and Jeff Teague aren't here, but really they got like 14 or 15 guys that you can choose from, and they have their fantasy projection for each player. So 40.5 fantasy points projected for Chris Paul, 60.5 projected for Giannis. And you can pick whether you think they go over or under their projection. They also have single stat. Right now they only have free throws made up, but they also have like point projection, rebound projection, assists. So yeah, guys, PricePicks, we've kind of been touching on them a lot lately. It's a new way to play DFS. If you guys do want to check out PricePicks, see what they do have to offer, be sure to use my promo code NOAH. When you do sign up, that will give you a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. So if you do sign up for PricePicks with my promo code, you deposit $100, they will match that. They will give you an additional $100 to play with. Also, till the end of the NBA season, basically till the end of the finals, they're running a $1 million promo right now. So pretty much, this could be the last chance you get to do this if the Bucks wind up winning on Tuesday. Obviously the NBA season will be over with. So this $1 million promo could be gone after Tuesday. If you have not signed up yet, you want to get a chance to get in on this $1 million promo. They're giving away $1 million. They give you 5 questions to answer. It's normally, how many points do you think each player scores? It's usually, the top 5 projected guys. CP3, Giannis, Booker, etc. And you pick how many points you think each player scores. If you get all 5 questions right, you do win $1 million. So it's a cool promo they're running. Obviously, your chances are not that high, but it's free. So why would you not try it? And even if you go 1 for 5 or 2 for 5, you still do get a prize. Even if you don't get all the questions right. I'm pretty sure they send the link to join that contest. Once you sign up, make a deposit, they'll send you the link to join that. So check your email to get that $1 million promo entry. And like I said, guys, that $1 million promo they're running right now, it will be over. It's going to be gone after the finals is over with. And obviously, if the Bucks win Tuesday, that could be the end of the NBA season. So get on it now, or get in on it now while you still can, and be sure to use that promo code NOAH. So you get that entry and you get that deposit bonus as well. And as always, guys, throughout the video, we will discuss some picks I do like over on PricePicks for today, for those of you that do play over there. But let's go ahead and take a look at this showdown slate for tonight, kind of talk through everything like we've been doing. So we will start off at the top of the player pool where you have Giannis at $12,800. If you use him in the util, if you play him in the captain, obviously very expensive, $19,200. Giannis, I think last slate was the first slate, I think, in this entire series. I'm pretty sure he's been in the winning lineup in every game so far in the series. Last slate was the first time he wasn't in the winning lineup. He only scored 52.25 DK points last game. It was kind of a floor game for Giannis, which is crazy that 52 fantasy points is a floor game from Giannis. But he didn't have that great of a game last game. He was not in the winning lineup, I don't think, if I remember correctly. But that's not really going to scare me off of Giannis today. He is still, in my opinion, one of the top plays on the slate. He's probably the top play. He's definitely the top projected player overall. It's just a matter of if you can fit him in or not. The pricing, it's starting to get a little bit tougher. Like, guys are getting priced up to a point where, the value that you're having to play in to fit in Giannis, you don't feel great about. You're having to play guys like PJ Tucker, Cameron Payne, Cam Johnson, these guys that don't have much upside. But clearly Giannis is a top option here. He's going to play massive minutes. We know Giannis is going to be super productive when he's on the floor. He's a guy that I would definitely want to be playing. Even after the mediocre game last game, I would assume he probably bounces back here, puts up 55, 60 DK points at the minimum, and very likely that Giannis will be back in the winning lineup tonight. So I do like Giannis a lot. Then you have Devin Booker at 10,400. Booker, he's been pretty good lately. He's definitely bounced back, especially after he had that really poor Game 3. 46 DK points in Game 4, had a really good game last game, 55 DK points. He scored at least 40 real-life points in 2 straight games. I think Booker's a good option now. You can't play all these top guys. You are going to have to make some choices. I think I do prefer Chris Middleton over Devin Booker, and we will talk about Middleton in a second. But obviously, Booker is in play. He's going to play probably 40 to 42 minutes, if not more than that. He's going to take a ton of shots. He's been, the usage he's been getting lately is great. 28 shot attempts in Game 4, 33 shot attempts last game in Game 5. There's there's really nothing negative to say about Booker right now. I guess the one negative is that, he is kind of scoring dependent. He doesn't really contribute with many rebounds. He doesn't really contribute with many assists either. He's going to have a really good shooting game to give you that upside. But, when he's taking 25, 30 shots a game, obviously the opportunity is there. We know the minutes are going to be there as well. So clearly, Devin Booker is in play, but I don't think he's like a first guy in for me. I would rather go to Chris Middleton for a little bit cheaper. Middleton, I think, can do a little bit more with the peripherals. He can get you like 7, 8 rebounds. He can get 5, 6, 7 assists. He's obviously got scoring upside as well. He's also been getting a ton of usage lately, been taking a ton of shots. 33 field goal attempts in Game 4, 23 last game in Game 5. He got off to a really, really slow start last game. I think he had like 4 or 5 fantasy points at the end of the first quarter, but he was able to kick things on, especially in the second half. He played really well in the second half. He continues to get monster minutes. He's played at least 40 minutes in every game so far in the finals. Played 44 last game. With this being a potential closeout game, with the Bucks having a chance to potentially wrap things up here at home, they're going to push all these guys. Like Middleton's going to play 43, 44 minutes. Drew Holiday's going to play 42, 43 minutes. Giannis is going to play 40 minutes. So obviously Middleton's got massive upside here. It seems like he plays a little bit better at home. I don't really look too much into that, but he did have his best game of the series. That was at home in Game 4. He was decent last game in Game 5, but yeah, I definitely like Middleton here. I think he's probably he's probably like my second favorite pay up behind Giannis. I think you can definitely play Giannis and Middleton together if that is something you want to do. And then on PricePicks, I do like the over on Chris Middleton. His projection right now is currently 42.5 fantasy points. I definitely like the over there. Like I said, he's going to play 43 to 44 minutes. He's a fantasy point per minute player. He's going to get probably 6, 7 rebounds. He's going to get 5 or 6 assists. He's going to take 25, 30 shots. It's pretty likely he goes over that projection, as long as this is a close game and we get full minutes from Middleton. I know he came just short of that projection last game, but again, he got off to a really slow start, had like 4 or 5 fantasy points at the end of the first quarter. We can't really expect that to happen again. So I like going right back to the over on Chris Middleton today. 42.5 fantasy points, I feel like is probably a little bit too low of a projection for him. I think his projection should be like 44 or 45. I think 42.5 might be a little bit too low. But then next guy up, we got Drew Holiday at 9,600. He had a massive game last game. Really the first like big ceiling game we've seen from Drew so far, like in the playoffs. I know he did have, or at least in this series, I would say, he did have that really good game against Atlanta in that closeout game. But so far against Phoenix in the finals, the best game from Drew was in Game 3 when he had 45 DK points. But last game he was fantastic. Played 42 minutes, had 61 DK points, took 20 shots, had 13 assists. I mean, he really just did it all. Plus the defensive stats as well. He chipped in with a block and 3 steals. We know Drew has this kind of upside. Now, I will say that Drew has definitely been inconsistent when it comes to fantasy. Like, some nights he'll post these big ceiling games, and then some nights you'll only get 35, 40 DK points from Drew. It's kind of been the same way with Chris Middleton as well. Like, it's been a coin flip, basically. When Drew goes off, when Middleton goes off, it seems like whenever I play Middleton, Drew has the better game. Whenever I play Drew, Middleton has the better game. I just can't seem to get these guys right. I think I do prefer Middleton today. especially because I think with Drew having that big game last game, his ownership might be a little bit higher, but Drew's fine. I don't think he's kind of with Devin Booker for me. Like I would put Giannis and Middleton ahead of Booker and Drew. Just my preference. Obviously, you could still play Booker, you could still play Drew, but I think they would be more of secondary options for me. Now you have Chris Paul at 9K, who was solid last game, had 44 DK points in 35 minutes. I still, I'm kind of hesitant to roster Chris Paul at this point, just because he's not getting the minutes that Drew's getting, that Middleton's getting. Like Chris Paul's not playing 40, 45 minutes like some of these other guys are. Like Drew last game played how many minutes? I think 43 last game. Yeah, 42 minutes for Drew. Middleton played 44. Even Deandre Ayton, for a little bit cheaper, he played 45 minutes. I just don't know if I can go to Chris Paul when he's only getting 35, 36 minutes when you have these other guys priced around him that are getting 5, 6, 7 more minutes than he is. I know Chris Paul can still have a good game. He can still put up 50, 55 DK points in 35 minutes, but at this point, I'm kind of done with Chris Paul. Like, I really haven't been too high on him much this season. I know, or in this series, I was pretty high on him. I think it was game 3, and he had a really, really bad game. But yeah, at this point, like, I just don't have that much interest in Paul where he's priced. I think there's just other guys I'd rather get to. Now that I say that, I already know that, Chris Paul's going to go off tonight. But at this point, I'm kind of just done with Chris Paul. I think I would rather go to these guys that are playing more minutes, that have been more consistent, like a Deandre Ayton. I mean, Deandre Ayton's $800 cheaper than Chris Paul. He's playing way more minutes than Chris Paul is. 45 minutes for Ayton last game, had another double-double, 20 and 10 with an assist and 2 blocks and a steal, 40 DK points. Like, I know Ayton's not I would say Chris Paul is definitely a slightly better point per minute player than Ayton is. But again, the minutes, Ayton's playing more minutes than Chris Paul is. He's probably going to get 40 plus minutes if this game stays close. We know Ayton is probably going to get you a double-double. He's going to obviously grab a ton of rebounds. He's going to be around the rim to get putbacks. He can score around the rim. At 8,200, I think Ayton still remains a little bit too cheap. He's definitely someone I have interest in that, lower mid-range. He's been too cheap a lot in this series, and I think at this price tag of 8,200, he's once again a little bit too cheap today. So I do like DeAndre Ayton quite a bit. Another pick I like over on PricePicks is his over 41 fantasy points. I think he can definitely go over that projection. I'm pretty sure he did come up just short of that projection last game. Him and Middleton both came up just short of their projections, which really sucks. But again, Ayton's playing 40-plus minutes a night. He's gotten at least 40 fantasy points in 4 of his last 5 games. In the one game where he didn't get 40 fantasy points, he was in major foul trouble. He only played like 24 minutes. So, yeah, if Ayton doesn't get in foul trouble and this game stays close and he plays 42, 44 minutes, I mean, it's going to be pretty easy for him to go over 41 fantasy points, especially when you factor in the fact that he's a point per minute player and can average over a fantasy point per minute. I like the over on Ayton as well at 41 fantasy points. That's another pick I'm looking to target on PricePicks for today. But once we get down to some of these mid-range options, you got a guy like Jae Crowder at 7,400, who's been playing really well lately. He had really good, was really good games 2 through 4, 33 DK points, 32 DK points, 41 DK points. Last game, he came back down to earth a little bit. I've kind of been saying it, like, Crowder's not a guy that's going to put up 40 fantasy points a night, but he definitely is getting he's getting the opportunity right now. I will say that. He's been getting a lot of minutes at the backup center. Pretty much when Ayton's not on the floor, they're going to have Crowder out there. He played 40 minutes last game, played 39 the game before that. He's someone I don't really look to roster that much in fantasy just because his upside is not massively high. Like, for him to really put up a big upside game like he did in game 4 or in game 3, he's going to have to shoot really well from the field, or he's going to have to luck into 3 blocks and 3 steals like he did in game 4. Got 3 blocks and 3 steals that game. In game 3, he shot really well, 6 for 7 from 3. He is a really good 3-point shooter, I will say that, but Crowder at this price tag, I don't think stands out as like a top option for me. If he was a little bit cheaper, I would like him a lot more, but at 7,400, I feel like for Crowder to be in the winning lineup tonight at this price tag, he's probably going to have to go for 35 DK points, maybe. Could he be in the winning lineup if he scores like 30 DK points? I guess he could, but at this price, I don't have that much interest in Crowder, but I do like his over on PricePicks. His projection on PricePicks, I think, is a little bit too low. Last slate, his projection was 27.5, and I like the under on that one because I thought that was a little bit too high of a projection. And not saying that Crowder, was a bad play last slate. I just thought that, this is someone that's not going to put up 35, 40 fantasy points a night. He's a guy that most nights he's getting you anywhere from I don't know, 25, 30 fantasy points. Most nights he's not going to put up 30 plus. So 27 I thought was a little bit high of a projection for him last slate, and he did go under his projection last slate. Well, now they bumped his projection down a little bit for today's game. It's at 25.5. I think I like taking the over on that one. That's the 2-point difference. It makes quite a bit big of a difference. So I like the under on 27.5 for Crowder last game. Well, now it's at 25.5, and I think I like the over there. He has gone over this projection, over this number in 4 straight games. He scored at least 25.5 fantasy points. I know he barely got over it last game, but yeah, I definitely like Crowder's over 25.5. If he continues to get 40 minutes, for him to go over this projection, he probably needs to hit a couple threes, grab 8 to 10 rebounds, which is what he's been doing. He'll get you a handful of assists. He'll probably get a steal and a block. I mean, he can easily go over 25.5 fantasy points. So I definitely like the over on that number for Jae Crowder. These are kind of 3 early picks I like right now in PricePicks. We will hit on one more that I do like as well. But definitely these 3 I think really stand out. In terms of like the top guys. Now we can start getting to some of these cheaper, bench roll guys. We'll kind of talk about Bridges and Lopez though, the last 2 starters. Bridges at 6,600, is kind of similar to Crowder. Not a guy that I really love to roster. Not a guy that really has much upside. At his price tag, I don't think he really stands out as someone that I'd be running to roster. He's probably going to be pretty low owned, anywhere from like 20 to 30%. But God, like for Bridges to really, be in the winning lineup tonight, he's probably going to have to score close to 30 DK points like he did last game. Could he go out there and score 30 DK points tonight? He absolutely could, but at 6,600, I think I'd just rather roster some guys that are cheaper, that could easily outscore Bridges that we will talk about. But then you have Brook Lopez at 5,600, who I'm actually kind of interested in. I haven't really been on Lopez at all in this series, but his price has come down a little bit, down to 5,600. And one thing that was great to see is that he did play 29 minutes last game. Now, his minutes were starting to trend down. He'd only played 21 in Game 3. He only played 19 in Game 4, but he got back up to 29 minutes last game. Now, I think one of the reasons he played 29 minutes was because P.J. Tucker only played 24. I don't know if P.J. Tucker only plays 24 minutes again, but if we do get 29 minutes from Brook Lopez, I think at 5,600, he can definitely be someone worth rostering. I know he wasn't very productive last game, but the minutes went back up, which was good to see. If the minutes maybe go down for P.J. Tucker, that could definitely be good for Brook Lopez. I know P.J. Tucker was in some foul trouble last game, so maybe that's the reason he only played 24 minutes, but if we do get 29 minutes again from Lopez, he's someone I have some interest in that mid-range. I think his projection on PricePicks might be a little bit too low. I know he's gone under this projection in 3 straight games, but 19 fantasy points does feel like too low of a projection for Brook Lopez. If he does play anywhere from 25 to 28 minutes tonight, he definitely probably will go over that 19 fantasy points that he's projected for. So I actually kind of like the over on Brook Lopez. That's another pick you can take over on PricePicks for today if you want to take that one. But now let's talk about some of these cheaper value guys real quick. So Pat Connaughton, continues to get his 30-plus minutes off the bench. He's played at least 30 minutes in every game except one in this series. He's going to play probably 30 to 32 minutes today. He's not a super productive player, but it's hard to find guys, coming off the bench that are going to get 30-plus minutes. But we know Connaughton's going to get those minutes, so he's viable in my opinion. Now, his price has come up a little bit, but I think he's still in play. Then you have Bobby Portis at 5K, who obviously is not going to play nearly as many minutes as Connaughton, but he is a pretty productive player when he's on the floor. He's going to probably play anywhere from 16 to 20 minutes. He's a fantasy point per minute player. Between him or Connaughton, I think I would give the edge to Connaughton. I know Connaughton's not as productive as Portis, but Connaughton's going to play probably 10 more minutes than Portis will. So for that reason, I would rather just go to Connaughton. They're pretty closely priced. But then you have guys like Cam Johnson, Cameron Payne, who I think are in play today. Cam Johnson, I did like a good amount for value last slate. Obviously, he did not do very well. Only had 11 Draftkings points in 22 minutes, but he's consistently been getting the minutes off the bench for this Suns team. He's probably going to play at least low 20s minutes today, maybe plays a few more, could maybe get like 25, 26 minutes. But at the minimum, we know we're going to get like 20 to 22 minutes from Cam Johnson. Again, he's not a very productive player either, but if you want to roster those top guys, which you're going to want to be doing, if you want to put Giannis, Middleton, Ayton, if you want to put those guys in your lineup, you're going to have to look to some of these cheaper bench guys. Cam Johnson is someone I do like as a value off the bench for 4,400. And even Cam Payne, I don't mind at 4K. Now, I've kind of been off of Cameron Payne so far in this series. I really haven't rostered him much at all. I don't think he's like a great value or anything, but he's 4K, with Guys like Connaughton getting priced up a little bit, with Bobby Portis getting priced up to 5K. It makes those guys a little bit tougher to roster. Those have kind of been the value plays I've been looking to. Connaughton, PJ Tucker I've kind of been on, but man, he's just been so bad lately. I don't know if I really want to go to PJ Tucker today. I think I might rather just take Cameron Payne, who, he's gonna be productive when he's on the floor. The only thing that sucks is that, Cameron Payne's not going to get a ton of minutes. With Chris Paul fully healthy, with Devin Booker fully healthy, there's not a ton of opportunity for Cameron Payne right now. He's only going to play probably 15 to 16 minutes, but he can be productive when he's on the floor. I think that does make him a viable cheap option at 4K. But the rest of these guys I don't really feel good about. Like Jeff Teague, Torrey Craig, I'm not playing. I mean, Torrey Craig only played 9 minutes last game. At this point, I'm even surprised that he's even getting minutes still. I think he should just be cut out of the rotation. Phoenix should just be running a 7-man rotation at this point. Same with Jeff Teague. Like, I really don't know why Jeff Teague is still getting minutes. At this point, they should just cut him out of the rotation. Just give his minutes to somebody else. But you'll probably get 8 to 10 minutes for Jeff Teague, 8 to 10 minutes for Torrey Craig. They're fine, but I don't really want to roster either one. And the rest of these guys I don't really want to go to either. The rest of these guys aren't going to play. Now, we didn't mention PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker, he's cheap. He's going to get good minutes, probably 25 to 30, but he's just been so, he's just not doing anything when he's on the floor. At this point, I'm just frustrated. I'm tired of rostering this guy because when you watch him play, it's just so annoying. Like, he just, on the offensive end, he just stands in the corner. He never demands the ball. He's not going to ever really take any shots. He might take 1 or 2 3-pointers. You pretty much got to pray that he makes those. You got to pray that, 4 or 5 rebounds will fall his way. You could still roster PJ Tucker, but because he is 3,400 and he's going to play probably 30 minutes. But, man, I think I'd rather just get up to guys like Cam Johnson, Pat Connaughton, Cameron Payne. I think I'd roster those guys over PJ Tucker today. So that's kind of my thoughts on him. I'm kind of off of PJ Tucker at this point. He just doesn't have the upside. The minutes are going to be there, but, man, PJ Tucker could still play 30 minutes and score 8 DraftKings points and, just really just be, meaningless for your lineup. So I think for me, value-wise, I'm looking to Pat Connaughton, I'm looking to Cam Johnson, and even Cameron Payne I have some interest in as a cheaper option. But that really does it for the showdown slate, guys. I think we kind of touched on everything, really hit on every playable option, every guy that I expect to see minutes. We also talked about some picks I do like over on PricePicks for today. Gave out 3 picks, even a 4th, with the Brook Lopez over. If you did want to take that one as well, you could do that one. But yeah, guys, appreciate you watching the video. I hope you did enjoy. Lastly, before we do end the video, obviously, if you have not checked out PricePicks yet and you would like to, be sure to use promo code NOAH when you do sign up. That will give you a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. If you deposit $100, you sign up for PricePicks, you make a deposit up to $100, they will match that and they will give you an additional $100 to play with. So that's kind of a little bit of extra incentive to sign up right now. Plus, they're running their $1 million promo where they are giving away $1 million. They give you 5 questions to answer. If you do answer all those 5 questions correctly, you do win $1 million. But even if you go 1 for 5 or 2 for 5, PricePicks will still be giving out a prize for that as well. And this promo, they're only going to be running it till the end of the NBA season. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if the Bucks do win tonight, obviously the season will be over with. So you want to get in on that while it's still an option, while it's still available, because at the end of the season it's going to be gone, which obviously that could be after Tuesday. So yeah, guys, check out PricePicks if you have not yet. Use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up and get that deposit bonus. But I wish you guys the best of luck on